St. Paul wrote the letter to the people of Galatia due to their many stumbles in following the faith. Galatia was north of the Mediterranean Sea and included the city of Nicaea, which the Nicene Creed is named after. It's believed that this might be St. Paul's first letter. St. Paul is believed to have reached Galatia while on his second missionary journey. This letter was written in approximately 54 AD and includes the apostles Peter and disciple Abraham. During this time, circumcision was under great discussion, and Jewish legalism was cruel and unfair to the Gentiles. This letter contains 6 chapters on how the Galatians should conduct themselves and how they should come closer to Jesus Christ. St. Paul was born in Tarsus and wasn't brought up in the faith. In fact, he persecuted Christians at a young age. He turned to the faith when he was blinded by visions of Jesus' resurrection. St. Paul wrote 13 epistles, including Romans, Philippians, 1 Corinthians, etc. St. Paul divides his messages between 1 or 2 chapters at a time. In chapters 1 and 2, he discusses the importance of the Gospels and following the message given by Jesus Christ. He informs the Galatians that people who follow false gospels are to be accursed. St. Paul expresses the power of Jesus Christ and how Christ has given him the power to preach his messages. He expresses how Jesus loved him by explaining that Jesus gave up his life for him and guides him through life. Paul then divides the next message in chapters 3 through chapters 5, verse 12. This message that he is trying to get across to the Galatians is that obtaining salvation by going to heaven is only possible through following Jesus' words and works through faith. St. Paul acknowledges the fact that the 10 Commandments is a very difficult path to follow and says that this is not the way to salvation. St. Paul brings the death of Jesus up again to prove the point of Jesus' love for us. St. Paul's final message in his letter to the Galatians takes place in chapter 5, verse 13 through chapter 6. In these chapters, he discusses the fruits of the Spirit. He stresses the importance of living a good-willed, holy life by following God's works and by treating others with kindness. In the letter to the Galatians, St. Paul mainly discusses how we are saved by faith. Paul defends the idea that we can only be saved by the grace of God. He explains that the cross is completed and nothing can be furthermore added to it. A gospel mixed with law and grace has no power. The only thing that we can mix God's word with is faith. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 2. This theme is here to allow a guideline to how we are to follow God's path. We cannot fully be accepted into heaven without fully accepting that God sent his one and only Son to die for us in our sins.